Not many questions. I'll keep it short, crisp, and fun. I'll try and keep it fun. So, the panel is all about celebrity marketing, the D2C brands having celebrity marketing strategies. In between, there was a situation and time when the influencers were taking up the role of representing the brands, and the celebrities, the top celebrities, had taken a back seat. But again, we are back to square one. The big celebrities are coming up, endorsing the brands very, very highly, and they're getting associated with them in long-term partnerships. How do you think, I'll come to Yamini first for this. She being an influencer herself, she can really tell us. How do you think the balance works out? Influencers, celebrities. They both play a role in promoting a brand to where it is. But what is the contribution levels? What do you think about it?
So firstly, I think that whenever a celebrity is endorsing a brand or getting associated with a brand, that creates a brand image. You know, the brand has reached a certain level to associate with that celebrity. But I think in terms of conversions and in terms of sales and in terms of creating trust in the audience for that brand, you need influencers, because these influencers are people who come up and who've become influencers from very mundane and daily lives, and we are all people among you. So I think that is what hits and resonates with the audience. So both of these are important for a brand, while you need to have a celebrity on board, you know, to upscale your brand and to create an image, and maybe later on, if I talk about getting investments and stuff, that really helps. But to improve your sales and to improve and to create a trust factor, you need influencers.
So you mean to say people who are too much connected and relatable are important? Okay, Samesh, your views on this?
So I 100% agree with what she's. I 100% agree with what she's saying. I think the fundamentals remain very similar, whether you're talking about influencer marketing or you talk about larger celebrities coming and endorsing your brand. Both of them play very, very pivotal roles, and I think celebrities are coming to the party as well, along with influencers today. They've accepted what D2C has to offer. That gives you a lot of validation of what the ecosystem is turning towards. At the same time, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon that we'd see influencers being ignored. In fact, we are going today to a time where we're looking at not just macro influencers, micro influencers as well, because sometimes those are the influencers who have better engagement rates, better connect with the audiences. We see, at least for us, we've also targeted larger funnels with targeting more micro influencers, reaching out with the 8% plus engagement rates with smaller followers. Where I'm talking about followers of around 5 to 8,000 followers per person. But those are those very close people who actually get influenced by what that particular person is doing. So that each of them have very different roles to play when you're in your marketing cycle, and neither of them can be ignored. They very happily coexist, I think, today.
Great. So Samesh, I think you actually read my mind. That was the question for you I had in the second round, that how is this data thing is working out when we talk about D2C brands leveraging the importance of influencers and their followers. So you very well answered my question already. Akriti, coming to you, what is your viewpoint on this? Influencers and celebrities, how do they stand together, or what is your take on it?
Hello. Yeah. Hi. Firstly, thank you for having me here. And yeah, I think they both have some very valid, fair points to make. For us, at House of Chicken Curry, we're a fairly new brand, 2.5 years old, 3 years old. For the first 1 year, we were only Instagram based. We didn't even have a website. So influencers have played a very pivotal role for us. Also considering, I think celebrities are also not accessible to everyone as a small business or someone who's just starting out. So I think in our journey, influencers were extremely important because they helped us build that initial trust as a new brand entering Indian wear, where there's like a plethora of brands already existing, you know. So how do you actually create that trust? How do you, we didn't even have cash on delivery, for example. How do you actually get people to convert in a country where COD is so important? So I think influencers helped us build that community first on Instagram through making it very authentic and through their content. And as we grew and as we, had the funds, I would say, or even the access to celebrities, we gained more knowledge. The fundamentals, like he mentioned, are the same. Like it is the trust being transferred, but it's at a bigger scale. You're trying to leverage this same associations in a way, because for an influencer, you would find a fit as well, just like as you would for a celebrity. But it really depends on the scale of the business and the timing when you can actually do it. But for sure, like influencer marketing today is really important for us, but it has become really crowded in the last 2 years. I've seen the industry grow myself because, we come from a time where, barters were easily possible, but today, because the industry has grown so much, a barter collaboration is not an easy, which is only fair, because, the influencer industry has grown. They do deserve the respect and compensation for the efforts they take in. So I think now it's more selective. It's more like brands not just reaching out and posting content from 100 influencers. It's not quantity more. People are focusing on quality, the script, the brand story that you want to bring out. And I think in the near future, that is what is going to stand out. Because there are now so many influencers, so many brands doing influencer marketing, that impact really comes out when the script is really thought about. So that's my take on that.
Okay, I mean, yes, script is really important about what the content is going out in the market. When we talk about content, I want to put up one example here. I will not quote the brand name. I've been really thinking on asking this question. When we talk about content and celebrity or influencer marketing, there are brands who promote through very high profile people. For example, there's a fairness cream. That fairness cream brand is promoted, endorsed by a very, very fair and a beautiful celebrity. I'm sure all of you know. How relatable is that content? I mean, the journey of a fairness cream is from changing a person's skin tone. If I wish to, for example, I'm dark, I wish to change my skin tone or maybe just, be a little more brighter. That is why I will use it. If I'm bright already, I will not be using it. So that content, that relatability, that trust factor, how important do you guys think? I mean, do you guys have any cases, any case studies or stories to share on those lines when we talk about trust, Samyesh?
So I think I can understand what brand you're talking about. I'm also going to refrain from taking any names, but I think this, other than influencer marketing and other than celebrity marketing, this comes back to the Indian consumer, and you'd be surprised the Indian consumers are a lot smarter than you imagined them to be. If you just go to a brand page, you just look at the content and the amount the Indian consumer is consuming today online, they probably read through things like these faster than any of us. If you talk, there were 3 D2C founders who we were talking amongst ourselves today, and one of them just said ki sometimes UGC content and user generated content does so much better for us, gives us so much more validation to a true real customer that and the same wouldn't happen if I were to use a celebrity. They were talking about a very high profile tier 1 A grade celebrity, and he said, listen, even her ads did not do so well for me, but using her name in a UGC content where a real user was talking about the product, it did a lot better. So the Indian consumers are a lot smarter than he was a few years back, he or she was a few years back. And this boils down to more than just influencer marketing and celebrity marketing. I don't think content like that resonates with too many of us anymore.
Good to know that. Because I also feel that original stories, original experiences is what really matters in the world now. So, Yamini, anything you want to share on these lines?
So I completely agree, and I'll share a personal example. So there are brand collaborations that we do, right? And the brand requires us to have a proper photo shoot, a professional photographer, proper background, and makeup artist and whatnot. And then we do it according to them. It's really expensive also, but it goes through. And somehow I see that for the brand or for the sales, there have not been much conversions as compared to a scenario where I'm just sitting at home, very much in my daily wear, a very rough background, or showing people how I am also struggling with, having a kid, having a business, and then being an influencer. And then when I talk about a product that really helps or that brings a change in my life, then people are able to resonate more, relate more, and then I see a better conversion also. So, and on my part as influencer, I really try to make every brand understand that let's keep things, say 50% natural, 50% commercial. The organic part should always be there. So yeah, that's my take.
So true stories, original and simple stories of everyday life is what really matters, and everyday stories of experiences of people when they experience certain products. Akriti, what's your take on that? You're holding a fashion brand, so it matters a lot, I believe, for you guys.
Yeah, so with over like 50%, of our population now being millennials and Gen Z, I feel they require that authenticity. They require that transparency from a brand story. So there are brands who are like now a decade or more older, and like I think they have to adapt, right? Because that's what the people need. That's what the consumer needs. You cannot today be promoting products which are not true and authentic to people. It will be called out. We have the access to social media. One negative thing can also lead to a lot of things. So I feel that it's because of the need of the consumers, it's important now to adapt and be transparent, because that's what people need and require. And yeah, I mean, in terms of trust, you cannot fake it as a brand. For us, it's really important to bring out that story that, okay, we are hand embroidered or we work with artisans, and it really helps our community and our customers get attached to the brand. And you see these reflect in your data and your sales over a long term. It's not a short term thing. You see those repeats coming in. You see the loyal community like commenting on your Instagram, engaging with your Instagram. You see that it's built over time. It's not a day's thing. It's not built over a month. It takes time to build that, but you do see the results coming in the long term data through that community. And I think to sustain in the long run, it's extremely important for anyone to have that authenticity today in place. Otherwise, I mean, a true brand has, I heard this quote once where someone said that a true brand can survive generations, right? So that's what a true brand can do. You understand what the change from one generation to the other is, how people think differently, and you adapt. So I think today this is the need, this is how brands need to adapt, and in the long run this is exactly what will make brands successful.
Great. So that means brand relatability is also very important, and generations will follow that. One last question I'll put up to all three of you. There has been a trend in the market that people keep on changing their brand ambassadors, be it celebrities or influencers. Do you think that depending on one brand ambassador or a celebrity for your brand, the face, is important, or changing with time is more important? Reliability maybe is not the word. Relatability is the word. For example, there's a particular brand, I know that is the face, और मुझे पता है कि मुझे वही ब्रांड चाहिए, बट जब उस ब्रांड का फेस चेंज होता है, will I go back? So how impactful is that change? How impactful is that change story for us, the normal customers, the day-to-day customers? Samesh.
So I think it's very, very important. We live in a more dynamic era than ever before, and today, though we aim to get our brands to outlive maybe generations to come, the only truth is brands are today also, at least online brands are a lot more dynamic than they used to be, than any other traditional brands would be, and customer persona to a large extent defines who my target influencer, celebrity, user will be, and we have no option but to be dynamic. Though I haven't really worked a lot with celebrity endorsers, we have worked a little bit with influencers, and the only thing and only truth is that we are very dynamic with our approach for who we are choosing.
Great. Yamini, you being one, what is your take on this?
So I feel change is constant. We all know that, right? And every brand has to keep upgrading themselves and changing with time. So even the top brands that we know, from Aishwarya Rai to maybe Ananya Pandey, they have been changing their brand ambassadors also. And for influencer, if I talk about influencers now, that is also a good practice to keep diversifying your portfolio and your rosters. Because as Samesh said, that micro influencer, the engagement rate is different, the conversions will be different. So it's a good practice to not rely on one influencer or a certain type or niche of influencers. It's always a good practice to keep experimenting. You never know that even a comedy influencer can turn out great for your brand. Or if I talk about fashion, we being comedy influencers, we still do a lot of fashion content and the brands love it. So I feel, yes, like diversifying and keeping upgraded is a good practice always.
Akriti, what's your take on that?
So yeah, I agree as well that diversifying is the way probably, but I think the way one should think about it is you go from your target audience, what they actually who they relate to. Secondly, what associations for your brand you want to bring out. So if you feel that there is a need to change those associations with time, or there is a different person now, your target audience, so the person you're trying to target or your persona, like he said, is looking for, that's when you take that call, right? It goes from the customer to you, it goes from the associations you want to build for your brand, whose trust are you trying to leverage, whose image are you trying to leverage. So it depends on a lot of factors, but of course it is very difficult to rely on, say, one influencer or one celebrity over a long period of time, because customers today, or people who are consuming that content online, are also exposed to a lot of people. They're exposed to a lot of influencers, a lot of celebrities, and someone who may have an impact 3 years before, it may change for the consumers, and unfortunately, like, the consumers call the shots for the brands. We're looking at the customer, we're looking at what they are consuming, who they are relating to, and we're taking a decision. So I think it really flows from the customers to us, and it requires change time and again whenever we feel that we have to upgrade as a brand.
Well then, thank you so much for those insights. It's not only celebrity marketing or influences, it's also about true stories, day-to-day life practices, and the brand relatability, which is more important. Thank you so much, Samesh, Yamini, and Akriti, for joining us at the D2C Fest today. Hope you have a wonderful time. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Ravin, over to you, please.